Hi, my name is Patrick Rita,
My name is Tanner Adams.
And I'm Nick Bierman.
and our project is on karma, cause, and effect. Before this class, I had only a faint idea of what Buddhism was and a very misinformed idea of what karma was. To me, karma was an umbrella term people use to describe things happening to them and for blaming their prior actions on these outcomes. Casually, I would use karma all the time, like blaming a bad grade on skipping class or attributing a positive outcome to a nice deed I'd done. I would point to it as an outside force driving these outcomes, like someone meddling in my life, even though, as we'll explain, these outcomes were because of my own doing all along.
I'm Tanner, and here's a brief intro on my knowledge of karma. I have never studied any form of Buddhism before this class, although I did have an elementary understanding of the premise of Buddhism and what karma meant. I've heard the word karma used my whole life, but never put much thought into the deeper meaning of the word. I've always lived by the philosophy of treating others the way I wanted to be treated, which I feel is similar to the basis of karma. I believe that those who do good things throughout their life will be better off than those who do bad things, regardless of their belief in Buddhism or karma. Doing good for others and having compassion, regardless of who is watching, is something I've practiced throughout my life, but I'm not a Buddhist nor do I believe in karma to the full extent.
Prior to enrolling in Tibetan Buddhism, I never thought of karma as a religious concept because I had not grown up in a religious family. I viewed karma as analogous to a tetherball on a playground, where, quite literally, what goes around comes around. I thought that if I, for example, helped an elderly woman carry her groceries to her car, then something positive might possibly occur in my life somewhere down the road as a result of that action, such as getting a nice birthday present. I believed that my helping the woman and receiving the present were not directly related by any means, and I was in no way entitled to reaping a benefit from doing so, but the latter was made much more likely because of my prior action.
The word karma comes from the Sanskrit word kama, which translates to action, work, deed, or fate. Sanskrit is an ancient Indo-European tongue dating back 3,500 years that serves as a primary language for many Buddhist works. Karma's dictionary definition is the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. It can be more literally translated to mean action. In Tibetan Buddhism, karma is paired alongside cause and effect because the three concepts are all intertwined.
No one goes about their day thinking about how karma influences their every move. However, with each complete action that we perform, there is karmic significance that we carry with us forever. On a small scale, I think we all experience obvious forms of karma where actions that are positive or negative have immediate corresponding positive or negative consequences. This may not happen every day, so we may forget about karma's effect, but we still see its forces in action from time to time. For example, I know of a story where someone was trying to park their car and instead ran into another person's car. They tried to flee, but on the way out of the lot, their car broke down. While sometimes karmic retributions are only apparent later on or in later lifetimes, this was an immediate consequence of someone being punished for trying to commit a hit and run. At UVA, we have methods in place that reinforce karma, such as the honor code, which promote honest behavior and punishes dishonest behavior. This is an example of an immediate karmic retribution and is one of the many ways the rules of karma permeate society.
Accumulating good karma can also be referred to as merit, which translates to good deeds. Performing good deeds, and therefore accumulating good karma, is important for the betterment of one's present life and their future life. The path of accumulation is the first of the 5 paths of the Bodhisattvas, which represent the entire spiritual journey within Tibetan Buddhism. The objective of the path of accumulation is for an individual to overcome suffering, either their own or that of another individual. This goal is accomplished through three stages: the lesser stage, the intermediate stage, and the greater stage. In the lesser stage, one focuses on the 4 applications of mindfulness to the body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. In the intermediate stage, one practices the 4 correct abandonments, not developing any additional non-virtuous tendencies, eliminating any existing non-virtuous tendencies, cultivating previously non-existent virtuous tendencies, and increasing present virtuous tendencies. In the greater stage, one focuses on the four supports of miraculous ability, which are miracle support of determination, exertion, attention, and discernment.
Contemplating karma and its effects makes us more mindful and conscientious in our daily lives. By being more aware of our actions, we can understand the consequences that come from them due to karma. When we are not being mindful, it could lead us to more negative actions when we fail to consider how karma could punish us from those actions. In our lives, I know it is often tempting to make decisions or perform actions out of emotion, but that can lead to a lack of mindfulness and negative karma. In my own life, when I take the time to think about what I am doing and how that may influence myself and others, that is when I make my best decisions. Whenever I do something in the heat of the moment or because it felt right, I sometimes end up regretting my decisions, and this could be karma penalizing me for not being mindful. Since we are the creators of our own destiny, it is important to be constantly mindful of what, how, and why we do things.
When a complete action is performed, it is always important to consider intention. In the story of the beggar woman, she had less to give, but because her intentions were pure, her karmic benefit was much greater. Likewise, good actions done for the wrong reasons can bring negative karma. In our greater society, sometimes there are people who give to charity for the wrong reasons, such as for tax write-offs, instead of for the purpose of benefiting society. This is a much less honorable purpose and can actually be counterproductive to certain charities with a pure mission who don't want to deal with these dishonorable gifts. This would be an example of how intention dictates karma, and donating to charity for the sole purpose of a tax break would generate far less positive karma than donating for the purpose of improving the lives of others. As with any action, intention dictates the karmic significance. That said, there still exists some gray area when it comes to intention. What if someone performed an action with a negative intention, but there resulted a positive outcome? Surely the intention was bad, but a good deed was performed. How would karma affect this person? What if the intention was neither good nor bad, but the outcome was good? How would karma affect this person? If karma, cause, and effect are all related, then shouldn't karma be able to explain why the cause in these scenarios doesn't match up with the effect? Much like there is a large spectrum between good and bad, it seems that there must be a spectrum regarding good karma and bad karma. Our next question becomes, who or what within Tibetan Buddhism determines where on the spectrum every action lies?
When thinking about a complete action, it is easy to relate it to the story of the ant. Is there any underlying reason to step on the ant? Was the ant stepped on purpose or an accident? The act of the ant being stepped on, and finally, was the ant actually killed when you stepped on it? I find many flaws in this reasoning, such as comparing someone who stepped on the ant with the intention to kill it but did not end up taking its life, versus someone who accidentally stepped on it and killed it. I also think about other animals or humans who are killed out of self-defense. If a bear is showing signs it might attack your family and you react by killing it as a means of protecting your family, this seems as though it is a complete action. The person shot the bear on purpose, there was an act of shooting the bear, and the bear was killed. It seems like this could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. This ambiguity leaves me very skeptical of the idea of a complete action. Is the life of the bear worth the life of multiple loved ones? I believe that the killing of the bear is permitted because many lives were saved, but a Buddhist might not agree. Does this person have bad karma because of their actions? This could be viewed as an act of courage and bravery by putting the lives of others in front of their own. Since different people may view an action differently, the type of karma it generates seems to be ambiguous. Since there is not some type of jury that decides the outcome of an action, it seems like the type of resulting karma could be unknown to the person committing the action.
Also apply to those who do not believe in it? This question ties into similarities within Christianity. Inevitably, people who mindfully do good things will be better off and be in a better position than had they chosen to do something bad or nothing at all. I think this is true regardless of whether someone internally believes in Buddhism and karma. If someone has never been exposed to karma, does this mean that all the good they have done does not benefit them? Why would they be in a worse position than someone who believes in karma and has done very few good things?
Why does the American usage of the word karma mostly refer to negative things? When I think about this phenomenon, I think about people leaving negative reviews about a company or about an experience, but not taking the time to leave a positive review when they had a good experience. I also think it is important to be mindful of our outcomes. We have a tendency to take credit for our own successes but blame others for our own failures. If we become more mindful of our outcomes, we become aware that we are entirely responsible for those outcomes, whether it is good or bad. This is a problem within our society and has led to the negative connotation of the word karma.
Ultimately, while the effects of karma may be seen throughout society, there are still many aspects we still do not understand. Even though people have been trying to understand it for thousands of years, there is no specific answer to what karma is or it isn't. We can only hope that by doing good deeds and being nice to others throughout our lives, we will be rewarded. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we hope it inspired you to reflect differently about karma.